G'day and welcome to another edition of Say to the Dusty Page. Today we're going to review the FROSTGRAVE Forgotten Pacts by Joseph A. McCullough. This book or supplement was released in 2016 by Osprey Games, and the art was again done by Dimitri Burmack. I think this is one of the best supplements. It's almost essential in the game. It introduces a lot of new concepts and rules. So the forging packs. So basically you can forge packs. The rules explain to forge a pack with a demon. But to do that, you must get a true name. And you've got to find the true name by doing the adventures. So I'll keep running through. So it has rules for advanced summon of demons. It has new magic spells of demonic servant and mystic brands, which is a really cool thing. And you get 5 new soldiers, some of these have got some pretty cool skills. You get 8 scenarios. You get your 20 odd treasures, and 19 treasures in one special. And then we get 11 new foes, and some of these are quite powerful. For instance, Emma Bronerax, the Empower of Sentence, and Kornevik, the Barbarian Outcast. These are tough, very tough opponents. So let's have a look at that. The artwork in these games are stellar. They're just evocative, really immersive for you to play. So Joseph gives us an introduction, and we talk about forging packs. Sets a scene in Felstad, around the temple district. There were great cathedrals and monasteries, and there was summoning and all sorts of things happening in those places. And this is some of the things that you can find there. So the true name is a treasure that you can find, and once you actually find that true name, one you can either keep it and forge a pack, or you can destroy it and get 40 points of experience. So, but if you elect to forge a pack, you've got to be at least 10th level, and you must make a wheel roll with a target number of 18, which is very, very high. And if you fail, you don't forge a pack, and you start the next game with -1 health. But if you are successful, you then randomly get a sacrifice and a boon. So you get something that's a penalty to you, and something that'll give you additional power. And once you've done this, you can do it again at level 25 and level 50. At any time you can cancel the pack, and then in doing so your health will be reduced by 2, and I think you lose a couple of levels as well. So the sacrifices are blood. Number 1, you've got to sacrifice 4 of your health. Another sacrifice is tithing. You hand over your treasure, worship, arcane energy. So you sacrifice a spell off your list each game. And then you've got to do a prayer. And that takes up a movement in the very first movement action in the game, which is probably not too big a sacrifice. And then the boons, you can get demonic power, lost secrets, Pentacellum, Twist of Fate, and Chilopendra Soldier. And that is, you can only get that if you have found the true name of Tizaran and forge a pact with him. But the Chilopendra Soldier is a tough soldier to have in your warband. So instead of, when you're casting Summon Demon, you now roll on this table, and you get what demon you summon. So you get, it's the casting number minus, or the casting roll minus the casting number is how you get to your place on this table. And then you either get a minor or a major, or an imp, minor or major demon, and then they have different powers. And all the different powers are listed in here. So they have different effects. Not all of them are good. So you could have your summon demon trying to kill you. But yeah, they've certainly got some good powers, like explosive demise. So your demon gets killed, but when it dies, it actually explodes and has a +3 elemental shooting attack against everyone within 3 inches of the demon, which would be probably quite a number of your party because they're trying to kill it. Yeah, magical vulnerability. Yeah, they're quite good. And then you get to the major abilities, and yeah, these are they make it difficult for your warband, I think. So yeah, like this one, a magic sync. So spellcasters suffer -2 casting when they're within 12 inches of this demon. So if you've got this major demon in the middle of the board, it could basically affect spellcasting over a 2x2 table right across it. Yeah, I think these are really add a lot of flavour to the game. New magic. So your demonic servant. You can only get this spell if you've actually forged a pack, but you can call a demonic servant, which is one of the new soldiers. And the other one, a signalist can cast, casting number 12, out of game, and you can cast a mystic band on one of your soldiers. So they're really cool. So mystic brands come in 2 types, burning marks or devotion marks. One's like a tattoo, and the other one's more like a scars of power. You can sacrifice them at any time for a benefit, but not everything's for free in FROSTGRAVE. That is just how it is. So especially when you, just to balance the game, I think. So if you've got a burning mark and you roll a 1, you then have to make a wheel roll or go temporally insane, and then effectively you're an uncontrolled creature, so you could be attacking your teammates. It's, the AI in the rulebook takes over, and yes, so there's some benefits, but there's some risks. And you can sacrifice it to deal 1 additional point of damage to a creature, but the effect on you is you suffer 2 points of damage. So you have Mark of Rage, which gives you +2 move, Mark of the Berserker, +2 to fight, Mark of the Blood, the bearer gets +2 damage in hand-to-hand combat, unless they have a two-handed weapon. In that case, it's just +1. So for a guy with a two-handed sword, that becomes +3 damage. That's pretty handy. Mark of the Chain plus gets the wearer gets +3 will to resist spells, and the Mark of the Fang, the bearer gets +1 fight. So devotion marks, they're more found on Masonic orders and cults, but so if you're fighting cultists, for instance, they might have some of these devotion marks on them. Or if you happen to, your scenario is a monastery, you could be fighting monks. So they're a little more powerful, I think. So you get a devotion mark receives +1 on all will saves. At any time you choose to sacrifice your devotion mark, you can add +3 to any will roll. But you immediately lose the +1 will modifier for having a devotion mark. Now, here they are. Mark of Endurance, so you're never treated as wounded, no matter what the current health, and you're immune to poison. Pretty good. Mark of Life, you get +2 to fight and +1 armor that when fighting undead. Mark of Protection, you can prevent 3 points of damage when you sacrifice it. Mark of Sight, the bearer is immune to spells, invisibility, beauty, or monstrous form. And the last one, Mark of the Shield, so you get +1 armor. So these are good. These are really good buffs to be able to give your warband. And they're with your apprentice and your wizard, you'll be able to cast them out of game on at least 2 of your soldiers, hopefully, if you make your roll. And here we go, just a compelling piece of art. So your new soldiers, your assassin. These guys are pretty cool. They use poison, and they get an additional attack bonus when they're supported by another soldier, but they don't actually give a bonus when they're in multiple combat with another creature back to that soldier. So they never support, they're never a supporting figure. That's just the local motorcycles driving past, just relaxed. The next one is a Demon Hunter. So these guys, when they're actually fighting against demons, they get a bonus on their fight and damage. So when they're using two-handed weapons or a crossbow, the damage bonus is actually +3. And they're quite tough, but they're a little bit dearer. And if you want to have a Demon Hunter in your warband, they cost more if you have associations with demon, no different spells, or you're a summoner, or you have a summoning circle back at your base. So, yeah. Demonic Servant. This is a spell that you get once you've forged the pack, and you can actually summon this soldier. They can carry treasure, and they can be dismissed from the warband at any time, just like any soldier. And they give you a bonus on summoning demons. And this is the next one. This is the image of the monk. They fight with a bladed staff. They have +4 to fight, which makes them pretty tough. With the bladed staff, they add a +1 to the damage, and when they're struck, they take a defensive modifier, so -1 to damage caused by others. Mystic Warrior, they generally fight barehanded, but they don't suffer any penalties or disadvantages for doing so. Again, they fight +4, unarmed, but their attacks count as magical attacks, and again with no penalties. but 100 gold crowns, fair whack coin. Then you have your 8 scenarios. 2 of these are linked and they're in 3 parts. And I won't, you know, go into these, but they're, you know, hours of play here for you. So you get your new treasure table. Again, you know, fighting demons. You know, why wouldn't you want to do that? And you get, like I said, I think 19 magical items, and then you have on a roll of 18, that's where you find the true name, which is an absolute bonus. So just to look at some crossbow of force. Basically, if you hit with your crossbow, you actually push back the target, even when it causes no damage. Ring of Focus. So if a spellcaster's got that, gives them +1 on their casting roll. Yeah, so all these things, they're just handy magic items throughout. Trapmaster gloves. So these magical gloves give the wearer +3 when rolling against a trap. I think the whole finding traps and everything probably needs to be a little bit clearer through the game, but I generally get the gist of it. So this is that's I think the god Tizium, Tizarone, or the demon. So he's a pretty intimidating looking guy. So your bestiary introduces barbarians, and I like barbarians. And when you roll them in your normal encounter table for these scenarios, you then roll an additional 1 for barbarians. So you could, you know, end up, if the roll comes to a 21, for instance, having 2 barbarian berserkers and a frost giant. That would be quite a battle. Or even 24, where you've got Cornovic, who rides around on a giant rhino thing, and 4 barbarian thugs. So yeah. And then we roll back into the creatures, and you've got a major demon with different powers. You've got powerful sorcerer who's made a pact with Tizarone and worships him. And again, he's got a bit of AI, so he tells, you know, you can fight this creature, and his actions are sort of predetermined. Barbarians, and your Failing Wrench, Boilhounds, Chupendra. These are pretty cool. Can't even pronounce this one. Gracura, Kalikid, and then you've got Kunovic, the Barbarian Outcast. You know, this guy has got health of 18, shoots with a bow, and he goes into combat, and yeah, he's tough. A Torvar, and then you have Tizarone himself. You know, this guy's got 30 health. He's got invulnerability to magical attacks, mind lock, and poisonous. So he's very, very tough. And then here's the advert for the FROSTGRAVE folio, which is the next item we will be reviewing. So please tell me your experiences with using some of the rules in this supplement. I think so far, as I've gone through these, and this is the best one. I think it's jam-packed full of goodness. So please like and subscribe, and have a great day. Cheers.